What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome back to Walk and Talk with Big Al, guys. So the first preseason game is in the books, guys. If you guys didn't see it, guys, needless to say, it was a lackluster performance. Too many penalties, too many mistakes. But the one thing I can say is that the resilience of the Raider Nation was there. In other words, the team never gave up. You know, towards the end of the game, it turned into a pretty decent game. But just keep in mind, those are all 2s and 3s playing, guys. There was no starters that were playing at all. The first drive on the offense, Geno Smith and the offense was out there. Right off the bat, Geno Smith threw a nice 15-yard hit, scored, and got a first down on the first play he threw. Very nice play. Then the drive stalled out. Why? First of all, Genty didn't really look like much. -1 yard, 3 carries. But just to show you guys, they're not trying to get him out there. They're not trying him out there. You know, they're not really running the ball as much right now. Right now people are trying to make the team. You know, they're still trying to. It was a very vanilla offense, showing you the pure basics. The drive stalled out. Then the first defense came in. That's what kind of worries me. The first defense didn't look that great, guys. They were running the ball right down our throat. One thing the coach needs to address for sure, he needs to address tackling. Tackling was horrific. Just taking the wrong angles. Guys running around the outside. It just can't be that way. We got to fix that point for sure, guys. Once the offense was out, Aiden O'Connell came in with a lot of the 2s. Aiden looked horrible in the first half. You know, 2 picks. You know, the first one was that long one to Dante Thornton. Dante Thornton looked good. Yeah, that guy was getting open at will, you know. But, you know, if there's one thing we know about Aiden is he doesn't have that deep ball. I think if it was Geno in there, he would have hit him. But that's more Chip Kelly, because Chip Kelly should know that. If he doesn't know, now he knows. Second half, Aiden came out and redeemed himself. He did a lot better, settled down, started distributing the ball around. You know, that kept us kind of in the game a little bit. And then the one that really shined last night was our third quarterback. He looked good. Miller looked really, really good, guys. For being a rookie, first time playing in the NFL. But then again, you know, I was telling my wife, here we go. All we're going to hear all week long is Aiden shouldn't even be the backup. It should be Miller and blah, blah, blah. First thing I get on social media, and that's the first thing I see. But guys, you guys got to remember, Miller was playing against the 3s. The 3s, most of those guys aren't even going to be on the team. He wasn't playing against the 1s. He wasn't playing against the 2s. He was playing against the 3s. That makes a big difference, guys. Makes a big difference. But yeah, he had a really good throw. I love the way he rolled out and was able to make that throw. To me, it was kind of like he looked the other way and he knew that guy was going to be open and he hit him. And it was a great pass. But that was the first time I really got to see Miller throw the ball, and he has a nice arm. He looked really, really good. Another guy on defense that I think did really well was Jamal Adams. He was all over the ball, guys. I could see that guy at linebacker making sacks, you know, stuffing the run. A lot of the defense only played first series. Jamal Adams played a lot into the second and third, but I think it's because they need to find out where he's at, if he's healthy or not. And he is. He'll definitely be making the team. Who else on defense stood out to me? The other guys that did really well on defense was, you know, the linebacker crew that was in there at first in the first series. That's gonna be our starters, guys. And they were kind of running the ball down our throat. Like I said, one thing coach needs to do, he needs to address the tackling. But you guys got to remember, the 2025 NFL is not the same as back in the day when they used to do 2-a-days. You know, they'd already have 8 weeks of practice in right now. Right now, they're limited on what they can do. They can't even tackle at practice, you know. Shells only, they hit maybe, but they're not allowed to wrap and get everybody down. So overall, yeah, we didn't look the greatest, guys. But then again, we don't need to be preseason champs. We really don't. We had a chance at the end to win the game, but the kick got blocked. So overall, I love the resilience of the team. They never gave up. Never ever gave up. But there's a lot of work to be done. Another thing that needs to be addressed, I think, is the penalties. We had over, I think it was 10 penalties overall, guys. You know, that's just typical Raider shit right there. No matter who the coach is, you know, we have way too many penalties, and that shit needs to be cleaned up. But I love the fact that the Raiders didn't fold and just, you know, and got whooped on. In the end, they came back, struggled back to get back in the game, and they did pretty damn good. They got back in it, and we didn't lose, you know. So next week's going to be the important games because we're going to be having joint practices. Joint practices is where the ones go against ones, and it's the closest to a real game you're going to see. Not even the preseason game against the Niners is going to be a complete game because they're going to be playing a lot of rookies and people that are trying to make the team again. So overall, to close this video out, guys, I think that the Raiders competed. The competitiveness was there. They didn't just fold. They stayed in the game, and they kept trekking through, which is the great part about it. And then remember, guys, over 20 rookies played last night. So they were rotating in, rotating out. Guys that aren't even going to be on the team were in there. And then the field that they played on, man, I don't know if you guys noticed, but that shit was loud for a preseason game. You know, that field, Seattle, they bring it. They're not called the 13th man for nothing. They definitely brought it. It was funny because I saw a little video clip of Cam Miller at the end. You know, he's an FCS quarterback. So that's like the minor leagues to the major leagues. So he's never even played in front of that many people. He's never played with a silent count. They had to play with a silent count because the stadium was so loud. You could see when Aiden was out there, he kept tapping his ear because he couldn't hear. So all those things go into factor. All those things are taken into consideration. Let's see how it goes in the next game. If the next game we're playing the same way, then there's something we have to be concerned about. But I don't expect too many starters playing next week because they are having a joint practice. The joint practice is going to be where it's really at, guys. There's going to be number ones going against number ones on both sides of the ball. And then when the preseason game comes on Saturday, they're going to be playing nothing but rookies. The ones are already they saw what they needed to see at practice. That's when you're going to really see Genty run the ball the right way. Don't worry about Genty. Like I said, they're not trying to expose him. They're not trying to show what he can do right now. You know, for all we know, that was a setup, you know. I noticed that they never handed the ball off the I formation. It was always shotgun and hand it off. Shotgun and hand it off. That makes a big difference when you're a running back. So there's a lot of things to factor. Stay positive. Overall, I love the resilience of the team, the competitiveness of the team. I think we competed and we stayed in the game. And in the end, we had a chance to win it. But you know what? I don't want to win the preseason. I want to win in the real season. So with that being said, guys, if you guys haven't subscribed, you stayed this long on the video, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel. We are season ticket holders. We will be going to many games, and we'll be reporting it to you, taking you with us, showing us what we do when we go to games, tailgates, where we go in the game, where we stay at, things like that, that in case you want to go to a game, you might want to follow suit. But with that being said, guys, you guys have a blessed day, and let's go Raiders.